Armageddon, ice. Okay. The first big punishment of the world was water. Second one's ice. And then you have, of course, the fire from above and the lake of fire, the second death. All of those things going on. And it's important to understand the difference. Revelation 16, threat from above. Revelation 20, threat is on the ground. And like Lucas was saying, watching the final card, seeing the threat that they're pushing out there right now, guys, it's an alien threat. We got to unite. This threat is coming from above. That's where the elect are going to meet, in the air. We're going to be gathered by angels and meeting in the air. And so it's important to understand what's about to happen next. It's a big difference if we're preparing for Armageddon, first resurrection, or if that millennial kingdom's here, I should be in a drought. I should have been for years. I don't remember sending people from my nation to go and do the Feast of Tabernacles so that we get rain. I don't remember doing that. That was never something that ever happened in my life. People can track their generations back hundreds, if not some of them, thousands of years in China, and they don't ever talk about that. They don't ever talk about the return. And so Hellstones, Revelation, punishment for Armageddon.
Josh, not to interrupt you, that is an excellent point, brother, that I have not heard anybody make, and I have not even thought about that one in a rebuttal to this conversation that we're having with people. That is first class, bro. I have not even, that thought has not even crossed my mind. And I've read that, multiple times, but it's like, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together on that either, because like if people say we're in that season, man, I got generations of my family that did not uphold the feast. Yeah. So my whole farm should be like, like the tumbleweeds going by right now.
Yeah.
That's excellent. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to thumbs up you on that. That's first class, man.
Yeah. It's things I never thought of because I didn't know prophecy, and Peter says, be mindful of the prophets and understand that a year is as 1,000 days and 1,000 days as a year. And when you start connecting that, like Peter said, you see pretty much where we are in time. And that's where I think the little season aspect has that they've hidden 1,000 years, or they've added 1,000 years. They've put us in a different place in time, and it gets really, really, really confusing. And I'm not saying they haven't done things with time. They've altered the calendars to where the calendar debate is massive. And I remember when we went to the conference, you're like greeting everybody, and you're like, we have lunar Sabbath people here. We've got your Sunday Sabbath, your Saturday Sabbath. You're like, we welcome everybody. Like we're all trying to figure this out. And so, yeah, we all have different ways. We can read the exact same verse and come up with 3 different conclusions with 3 different people. It just depends on how you see it. We all see things so uniquely and differently. So the good thing is we can gather and be humble if we disagree and share light. It's going to bring people to truth. And so there's just an example. Some of the things I looked up with the Hellstones coming out. It says that the 7th angel poured out a vial into the air, and there was a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, it is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before God to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hell out of heaven. And again, this is going back to chapter 16 with that Armageddon. Every stone about the weight of a talent. And so I looked that up, because it says here that men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hell, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. So I looked up that weight of a talent, and it said some modern Bible scholars equate the talent with 100 pounds. So 100 pounds. You think about the largest ones we've ever seen being a couple pounds, 2.5, I think was the largest ever that they found. 100 pounds, not from clouds, from heaven, the firmament. Just made a little visual there so you can kind of get an idea of how big those would be washing up on the shore. 100-pound hailstones, massive. I could not imagine. Yeah, like your house isn't safe. Your underground bunker with that earthquake and the hailstones, it's collapsing. I really don't think there's people going to hide away and survive that. But people will be protected. There are going to be survivors, and those are the ones coming to, keeping the Feast of Tabernacles every year. Things are going to be restored better. We're going to be restored to what it says, a pure language in the prophecy. We're not going to need apps on our phone to translate things. It's going to be restored to a pure language. So we're going to be able to communicate with other people, other nations. essentially. And they're not going to have kings. The Most High will be the king with his beloved son, given that kingdom, King of Kings aspect. Really powerful.